Boy, can I help you?
Listen up. I'm bringing you the best content to ever exist in the door-to-door industry, from sales, leadership, recruiting, and personal development.
Why would I need that?
Because never before have we been able to collaborate with the top experts in their industries, sharing their secrets and techniques on what makes them the best.
Wait, who are you?
I'm your host, Sam Taggart, creator of the D2D Experts and D2D Con. Is there a place we can sit down?
Well, come on in.
Hey everybody, this is Sam Taggart. I'm here with Brian Sorensen with the Sorensen Roofing Exclusives and phenomenal things. So it's fun to have some roofing and insurance restoration companies on the podcast. And his company is 2X'd and 3X'd over the last 5 years consecutively. So each year he just barely this year he went from a 600 square foot office to a 4,500 square foot office. He's done over 4 million in sales over the last, this last year, and is growing at such a rapid rate. It's so fun to meet entrepreneurs that, never thought, it's fun learning his story. We'll dive into it. But, if you would have probably asked him 5-10 years ago, he's sitting in the seat he is today, you probably would have not, fair to say, Brian, you probably would have been like, no, there's no way. I'm a multi-million-dollar company. And so we're excited to have you on the show, Brian, and really pick your brain on, entrepreneurship. But then we're going to dive a lot into the sales structure and how you manage your salespeople and train them. Because one of the unique things about Brian is he's very how to retain his people. He's retained his people throughout the years. He's not this whole train and burn model, and he's created some amazing sales reps. And it's due to a lot of his investing and training. And so that was what kind of inspired me to get him on this. And excited to have you on the show, Brian.
As the leading distributor of structural pest control, Univar provides training, services, and an arsenal of products to help you grow. Our 80 years of experience and industry-leading resource, pestweb.com, provide unmatched opportunities for your company to succeed. Learn more at pestweb.com or call 1-800-888-4897.
So tell us a little bit about how you fell, which I think is fun, how you fell into this industry. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
So a few years back, I started out as an insurance agent for Colorado Farm Bureau here in Colorado. And about 2 years of that, I decided to get into insurance adjusting and worked and managed the state of New Mexico for AmeriClaim adjusting. Ended up in Denver, Colorado with Cunningham Lindsay as one of the 3 adjusters they had up here. Went skiing with another contractor and actually fell and broke cartilage off the end of my left femur. And so I tell everybody I kind of fell into the roofing industry. Never would, in a million years would I thought I would be in the roofing industry when I was in high school. But, God works in amazing ways. And that was kind of one of those deals where I was like, all right, now what? And so started out doing supplementing and estimating for a company out of Denver. Worked there for about 8 months and decided to go off on my own in the fall of 2012. Not a better time to go into business, right before winter. Doesn't have a hailstorm for a year. So I had plenty of time to really do a lot of training and product knowledge on my own end before I got started. And I kind of tell everybody that the prior 5 years was a paid internship to kind of get me where I was now. So it's been quite the journey, but very blessed to have the people around me that we have now. So
that's awesome. So tell us kind of how you first, how that initial, finally you get some storms, finally it's like we can go out, the winter season's finishing up, and all of a sudden you start selling. Was it like rainbows and butterflies success, or was it kind of like, because obviously you had all this months and months and months leading up to that.
Right.
What was your success kind of starting out?
It started out in the spring, and I thought, okay, thank goodness, we're May, June, it's hail season in Colorado. Didn't hail in June, didn't hail in July. Was just about broke. I think I had about $300 left in my account at this point. And it was about the second week of August. I had just gotten back from spending time with family, and my phone started going off with these radar alerts. And I was like, all right, I got to get going. I got to do something. And so there was a storm up northern Colorado that day. I actually had to stop on the interstate to let the storm go around me. I didn't really want to be blasted with all-size hail in the storm. Arrived at the storm, people hadn't even gotten outside yet. The hail was steaming off the road. walking through 4 or 5 inches of hail, going up to these people's doors. And I'll tell you, when I first got started in this industry, I hated sales. I'll be completely honest with you, man. I did not like door knocking because I was kind of cut from the same cloth that everybody in this industry kind of gets cut from. Is here's your stack of contracts, here's some yard signs, knock on the door, tell them you're going to give them a free roof inspection, and go for it. Just ready, set, go. And luckily enough, that first 3 hours, I sold about $200,000 worth of new contracts. And at that point, it was like, okay, now what do I do? Now I've got to build these things. Where am I going to get? I had my roofing crews, but I didn't have gutters and paint and siding and AC, HVAC units, and so there was a lot of that. Okay, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And I kind of laugh with everybody. I tell people that I can tell a new person what they're going to do and what they're going to have troubles with before they know it, because I've done them all myself. It's one of those, my failures have been my best teaching lessons, I think, just because I realized, okay, I don't want to do that again. Let's try it this way. In a way that works. There's more than one way to make things work, but there's definitely some things that you don't want to do. And, luckily I've learned those early on, and now we're able to kind of train our guys with those now.
So I think, and that kind of segues me into the next piece, which is kind of the things that you've learned. Like, what are the things that you've learned over the few years to help you kind of double, obviously, from a do's and don'ts? You're like, we tried this for 6 months and it literally was a waste of our money and time. We tried this for, kind of what are the things that you're like, okay, I'll save you 6 months and $100,000. Like, don't do that and do that.
Right. I think one of the biggest and most important things that I can tell anybody that's in this industry, especially if you're new and even if you've been in here a long time, don't be afraid to walk away from a situation that you're not comfortable with. You're going to find a homeowner that something just is not right. Don't be afraid to just walk away from it. Really, in this industry, you're not going to get 100% of the people that you knock on their doors. And 100% of the people that might even like you, they're still not going to use you. There's plenty of business out there. Find the people that you want to do business with, and also find the people that want to do business with you. And if you ever try to force people into signing contracts or force people into a situation, 99 times out of 100, those are going to be the people that you're going to have troubles with collecting money from. They're not going to be happy with the service. No matter what you do, they're still not going to be happy. They're going to leave you bad reviews online. That's probably been the biggest thing that we have really learned, that we stress to our guys is, you want to have as much business as you can, but you also want to do business with people that you want to do business with, and vice versa, because that's really where, if you have that communication lines open with both the homeowner and yourself, things are going to work so much more smoothly. You're going to get a lot more referrals. They're going to be a lot more receptive to you when you're talking to them for the first time, because they're going to pick up on the fact that you're not just there to try to slam a contract down their throat, but that you're more there to be more of a service. We really call it servant leadership here. And not just myself, not just our general managers or managers, sales managers. It goes everything from myself down to every one of our crew members. It's treating that homeowner like it's part of their family. And I think that's the biggest thing. Some of the things that we've done bad, I guess you could say, is, I think a lot of guys, and we've done this on certain circumstances where, we get 2 or 3 weeks down the road, don't anybody calling in. We've tried to go to, one source of marketing by itself. We place an ad and we think people are going to call us. We wait by the phone and wait for people to call us. You're going to starve to death doing that. Only having 1 or 2 different things of marketing, whether or not you're doing daily mail or door knocking or, running ads in papers or radio ads, you're not combining those together and have a system put together where you're utilizing all of those. But at the end of the day, you're getting out, talking to people, hitting the streets, talking to the neighbors, because they're already going to be able to see you, different publications, different stories, different, blogs are becoming huge now, podcasts. But it's really getting out there and meeting them in the street. I think that's probably the one thing that we've done, poorly from time to time, and it never ceases to amaze myself is that I'm sitting there going, man, why are we not doing any business? And then it's like it clicks at me. I'm like, well, you idiot, you're not doing what you need to be doing. So those are probably the two main things there.
So let's dive into a little bit of the strategy behind your marketing to you and marketing, and showing up, right? There's this couple of let me warm up the customers and then I'll attack from my sales group, right?
Yep.
So what avenues, when you say direct mails, SEO, is there a specific one that you're we have a bigger ROI with pay-per-click, or we have a bigger ROI with flyers? Have you tracked any of that, or is it kind of throw everything out there, see what works? I
mean, that's exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of companies that have different beliefs. There's some companies that say, well, all we do is SEO. That's the only way to go. There people say, daily mailers are a total waste of money. It's the same guys that are going out and spending, they're sending out 100,000 flyers, and then they're back to the office waiting for people to call them. And, it's one of those, you got to understand what exactly the media that you're using, what avenue you're using, and how to maximize that. And so what we have done is, and really, we've been blessed by having some storms. We've been blessed by having some guys that's come on board that are really dedicated to building the business. Where we have, we have more money to not waste, but to spend and invest on those kind of things. Where, we do the pay-per-click, we do the Facebook, we do, we have a manager that manages all of our social media stuff. But we're also doing the daily mailers. We're doing the door hangers. We're knocking doors. Insurance companies, insurance agents. So we're really just kind of putting all of them together. But the biggest thing that we've done is, when a storm hits and we're able to specifically send out those daily mailers to an exact zip code or an exact neighborhood, we know when those mailers are going to be sent out. We know when they're going to be delivered. And we've got a team that's going to be going into that neighborhood, if not the same day, definitely the day after. And so kind of our philosophy is that, we're already going to have our information inside that home. And so we're not, even though we're door knocking, it's the first time they ever met us face to face, they will have at least seen some of our information. And even if they haven't, we can lead that way into it. And so, companies that say, well, daily mailers, man, they're a waste of money. If all you're doing is sending them out and waiting for people to call you, I'd probably agree with you. It's probably a waste of money. But by following back up with that, what we've noticed is that when we're knocking on doors, I'd say if we can get our information in that house and we're door knocking, we're probably closing 50% of the people that we're talking to. Not 50% of the doors we're knocking, because some people are not going to be home. Some people are already signed up with other companies or whatever. But, really, that's a huge rate of return for us. And so not necessarily is the daily mailer the greatest thing, or not necessarily door knocking is the greatest thing, but when you combine both of them together, you're getting a better result because the people are seeing you more times. Brian Tracy, one of the guys, I'm sure you've read him before as well, but there's a saying, he says, somebody needs to see you 7 times before they make a buying decision. And so if all you're doing is doing a radio ad, that's one. Now what else are you doing? And so that's why we spend a lot of time doing different things, whether it's billboards or, our 2 34-foot fire trucks that are fully wrapped, or, door hangers or yard signs, or, radio ads, door knocking. And so really it's doing those things before, I think. And then once you get out into the streets and you're talking to the homeowners face to face, they've already seen you 3 or 4 times. And so at that point, they feel like they already have a connection.
Yeah. So if you approach somebody that you kind of feel they should have been warmed up, we've already been doing our legwork in the front end. So, I would approach it this way. Or I guess I'd ask you, how would you initially approach that person now that you're assuming it's they got my mailer, they maybe see my signs, what would your initial knock on the door, what would you say?
When I knock on the door,
That was Jeff?
when I knock on the door, you kind of gotta read that person, because if they come to the door already mad, and you're the 13th person, especially here in Colorado, you get a hailstorm, there might be 10 people in the first hour that have knocked that person's door, and they're going to come to that door, and if they're already mad, I'll just be like, hey, whoa, I know the last person you wanted to see here. Just wanted to stop by, introduce myself. I'm sure you've received one of our flyers. Or, if we're building projects in the neighborhood, hey, we're building Bill's roof next door. Just want to stop by and say, if anything falls in your yard, or if there's any questions that we might be able to help you with, this is who we are, and we love the opportunity to provide the service to you. And for us, we found that works a lot better than being like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, Brian Sorensen Roofing, can we do a free roof inspection for you? Because they've already heard that 10 times. And so if you're the 10th person there, something I'd be like, I totally understand, and I take responsibility for those other 10 people not answering your questions, because obviously you have questions you need answered that they're not willing to give you, or they don't know what the answer is. And so, that's where we kind of break down that wall as far as, here, we're here to help. We know there's hail in the area. I don't have to tell that homeowner, hey, did you see the hail? Man, they have social media. They have Facebook.
Did your house get beat up the other day?
They can see the shingles laying next to their house. That's not what they're there to listen for. It's, a lot of people have never been through an insurance claim, and some people that have been through insurance claims, they may not have had a good experience the first time. And so, if that homeowner is just like, man, I hate contractors, I'll just say, I hate them too. Obviously, if I was a homeowner, yeah, I'd probably hate them too. But here's the deal. There's damage in the neighborhood. We know there's damage. I don't know what your experience is with contractors, but we really want to provide a service. We want to be a better option that provides you with the information that you need and that you want. If there's something we can help you with, great. If there's not, then not a problem.
And I think that mentality of kind of like, I'm here to serve you and answer your questions, and not being this needy, like, I'm here to sell you. Like, I think it'll come off way more authentic. And it's kind of this, hey, if it's not a great fit, like, and we end up not doing business together, like, great, but at least let's have this conversation. So
right. Well, and it goes right back to the whole thing. People love to buy. When you go into a store, you go on a car lot, man, you love to buy. The worst thing I hate is to be sold. And so, when I go in a car lot and I step over the line and there's like 5 guys, man, what car are we going to send home with you today? Like, man, I don't even know what car I like yet. It's just, again, people want to buy. They love to buy. Give them reasons to want to buy, not be sold. And that's really been a huge turning point for us, as far as just one, getting past the door and actually having a realistic conversation with them, because just putting them at ease makes a huge difference.
So let's kind of shift gears a little bit more to the close, because how many times do customers say, I want to think about it, due to the fact that it may be such a recent event, or they want to shop around? They're getting hit up by like 20 people. So they're like, well, what makes all the difference? How do I know you're good? So I guess if we were to go over 2 objections, the 2 that I'm assuming you get quite a bit is, hey, let me do my homework and let me think about this, or they're shopping and they're price shopping. So let's go over the first one, which is, how do you overcome the whole let me think about it, and kind of what are some good closes and questions or tie downs that you use to help with that?
I think the biggest thing that we do differently, that we don't get as many of those objections, is that we present our material in a way that we already know what their objections are going to be.
Yep.
So we go ahead and just hit it straight on the head. Listen, this, when we go through a presentation, it's, you understand that you have to pay your deductible, period. Colorado, it's illegal to pay. So we want to go ahead and just bring that to the forefront before we even go through the rest of the presentation. Because if that's going to be a sticking issue, we need to know right then and there. Because time is worth money, especially for us out in the sales field, is that you only got a few months a year that you can sell. So we want to just hit those objections up first, to where they don't have, when we get done with that presentation, our close is, other than the deductible, is there any other reason why you would not want to do business with us? We want to ask what the questions are. And if they say, well, I want to think about it. So, I totally understand. And you know what, I apologize. I obviously didn't answer all the questions or objections you have. So let me ask you, if there's one thing that you need to think about, what is it? Find out.
Perfect.
Because they've got something. If they're not willing to commit, if they're not willing to commit, there's probably one of two things. One, they don't like you, or two, they're not the decision maker.
Yep.
So if they don't like you, there's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? There's not a dang thing I can do about it. When I first started selling,
I run into that a lot, right, Brian?
when I first started my company, I was how old would I have been? 31 years old, and homeowners would look at me, and I've always had the baby face, and if my age is a problem, if you think I'm too young to be doing this, then I'll go down the street and find the oldest person I can find, and I'll bring them back here if that's okay. And they would all laugh, and they'd be like, ha ha ha, no, that's all right. I said, well, great, am I the contractor for you or not? I
love that question. Am I the guy for you or not? Let's figure that out.
Just get to it, because and the thing too is, when we start doing presentations, the homeowner, the first thing is say, listen, my objective for this is to ask you for your business at the end of this presentation. Okay, get it out, because what they're doing the whole presentation, they're thinking, when's the close coming? When's the close coming? Oh, they're going to ask for money. They're going to ask for this, and they don't even listen to what you're talking about. And so really it's just getting rid of all of that so we can have an actual conversation with them, so that when you get to the end, when you ask them, is there any other reasons that you have that you would not want to do business with us? Asking for the close. Most guys won't do it because they're afraid of it. They don't know how to do it. And it's the craziest thing. I've done it myself. Heck, there's times this summer where I didn't ask for the close, and guess what? I didn't get the close. But I look back at it like 2 or 3 weeks later when they went with somebody else, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't ask for the close. So, anybody that's been in this business, that's done sales for, 30, 40 years, they still make mistakes. And that's really why, a university like yours is great, because there's a lot of stuff that it pops little things in your ears where it's like, man, I'm not getting as many closes as I was last year or last month. What am I doing different? Go back, watch videos, learn that stuff, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So let's kind of shift to the next objection. I want to research it. I want to make sure I get the right pricing, different bids. I want to get a few more bids before I make any decision.
Absolutely. And, if you don't know how to battle this objection, it'll kill you. And the biggest thing that we've done is we put it down. Mr. Homeowner, I totally understand with you. I would assume that your insurance agent and your adjuster have been telling you need to get all these bids. And let me ask you a question. What exactly do you want to see in the bid? And make them answer you. It's not a yes or no question. It's what is it you're looking for? Because most of the time they'll look at you and say, well, I don't know. They just told me to get 3 bids.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, shoot, I don't even know how to answer that. You want to compare pricing? I guess just see dollar for dollar what it's, if I'm getting a good deal.
And it's one of those deals, if it's an insurance-based claim, the thing that we go over is, Mr. Homeowner, are you more concerned about price or cost? Right? And so they're going to look at you and you're like, well, both. Well, there's a difference between the two. Price is how much it's going to cost you out of your pocket. Cost is how much it's going to cost to do the roof, right? And so we're kind of in a unique business model, is that with an claim, the insurance company is setting the price. Our job is to come to an agreed scope of damage where all of the damage is going to be fixed, right? And so the cost is what the insurance company is deciding. It's illegal for us to negotiate price with an insurance company.
That makes sense.
So the cost to the homeowner is their deductible. Mr. Homeowner, are you concerned about how much money you're going to have to pay out of your pocket? Yes. This is going to cost. right? So
$500 with us, it's $500 with them. It's, do you want to do business with me, or do you want to do business with them? At the end of the day, you care how much.
Exactly. So
that is a good close.
And so what we do is, through our presentation, we don't do a quick 10-minute presentation. I would say our average presentation is probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Sure, that homeowner understands exactly the type of material we're putting on the roof, what kind of underlayment, why it's important to them, what it means for their insurance rates. Most homeowners don't want to have to replace their roof every 2 or 3 years when they get 60-mile-an-hour winds or penny-sized hail. I mean, we love it when people have to get their roofs replaced, but as a company, we don't want to have to replace somebody's roof because we put on a less superior product. So we build our value into it to where we're giving them the best product, and it's not costing them any more than what a competitor down the street is offering a less superior product. Because we know that if we do our job, provide that service for the homeowner, explain the process to where they understand it completely, they're going to talk to owners. That's where we get our biggest bang for our buck. Yeah.
And you almost could talk about, you want us to be the more expensive. You want us to have the better stuff.
Absolutely.
Because same to you. It's like, are you trying to price shop? It's like, no, let's price quality. Like, let's go at best quality and get the guys that are the best at matching with your battling it out with your insurance company. Because if I can tell you I'm the best at that and I've got the best quality, it doesn't matter or make a difference to you. Like, don't you want the best roof? Let's do this.
Exactly. Somebody, and especially, here in Colorado, housing is so much more expensive than it is, say, in, New Orleans or Texas. I mean, a $400,000 house in Colorado is going to get you maybe 2,000 square feet. In Denver, you go down to Dallas and you can get a mansion for $400,000. And so, especially here, I mean, $400,000 is $400,000. When you're talking about $1,000 or $2,000 deductible, as a homeowner, you spend a lot of money on your home. I would assume that you want to make sure that that's protected. Correct? Yes. Because if they say no, then it's probably not somebody you want to do business with anyways. Right? And so, again, we want to make sure that your house is protected. And something else I'll tell people is, Mr. Homeowner, no offense, but I don't want to have to come back out to your house this wintertime and replace shingles that blew off, that I should have just put a better shingle on so we didn't have this problem. Like, it's time to have to do this. And it's just being upfront with them and getting them to think on that aspect of it, because they hear so many times, especially from insurance companies or insurance agents or, television or even, I mean, there's even organizations that, you're a member of an organization to be a better company. I'm not going to name any names, but I always tell people, you need to get 3 or 4 bids because, you want to get your bid. They don't ever explain to people what a bid is for. They don't understand. They don't explain to people that there's a huge difference between your lower end shingles and your higher end shingles. What it means for their insurance rates. What it means for how often they're going to have to replace a roof every time it hails. As a roof company, we love roof damage, but at the same time, we want people getting taken advantage of by having a product that's not worth anything. And at the end of the day, it's still costing the homeowner the same amount of money.
Yeah. And I think that's a powerful line to be like, hey, we'd be happy to give you the cheap stuff because then it's just a recurring customer every couple of years. We'd love that. Go with that option. And that would almost be like a good line to be like, dude, do that. Like, let's do that. And it's like a reverse psychology thing. Well, then all of a sudden, they're almost agreeing with you, like, no, we want the best. Okay, good. That's why you're going to go with me.
Absolutely.
And then you can play that. So another question I had would be, how do I know that the insurance company is going to pay? Like, if a customer gives you that, like, how do I know that the insurance company is going to do all this? I don't know if, like, are you sure?
Right.
Like, I better check with them first, and then I'll call you back.
Right. That's getting to be a lot more of a gray area than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, a contractor could work hand in hand with an insurance company and negotiate a settlement as far as what was fair. Over the last 3-4 years, it has really taken a hard right as far as insurance companies saying, you're not allowed to negotiate price. We've never really, negotiated price because we use Actimate, which is the industry standard average pricing. It's set by a third-party company, and the insurance companies have adopted it. They've gotten more and more aware. They don't want roofing companies to be out there because it costs them more money, because they don't want to pay for fence, or they don't want to pay for flashing or code required items that are required by city codes or by manufacturer specs. And so kind of our conversations with the homeowners is I use my past experience. Mr. Homeowner, I used to be an insurance agent. I used to be an insurance adjuster. I still have lots of contacts within the industry that are insurance adjusters. The most part, insurance companies want to do what's right. There's always a few that you run into every year that they just decide, we're gonna try to pay you 60 cents on the dollar and see if you'll take it. With a homeowner about and within our contract that we have with homeowners, it specifically states that if we don't get paid to 100% of the RCV value using Xactimate pricing, that the contract's null and void.
And that's an important thing to make sure you hit home with them, because it kind of brings the wall of like, hey, worst case scenario, it's null and void. Like, what's the skin off your back?
Absolutely. And kind of, going to the different trainings that we go to nationwide, the certifications that we have, the relationships that we have with insurance companies, adjusters, agents, a lot of that stuff is for the service part of the homeowner, so that we're knowledgeable as far as knowing what they're going to pay for, what they're not going to pay for, how to get things covered, to make sure that, the homeowner is being taken care of. Because homeowner has, most of the time, if you ask a homeowner, is your insurance policy an RCV or an ACV? They'll look at you with a dumb look on their face. Most higher, they have no idea how to read an insurance policy. They've never read an insurance policy. And unfortunately, a lot of agents out there don't even understand the policy that they're selling to homeowners as far as what's not covered. Because until you're an insurance adjuster and you see, like, I don't know how many times I've been on a home, like, you're telling me that lightning struck the peak of your roof, caused, smoldering in your child's attic, and then, cracked 2 windows because of the thunder. I'm just like, okay, there's just a lot of stuff that you don't realize that could happen. Neighbor's tree blows over and falls on your house, or, a hot water heater literally blows out of your house. Until you get into those situations, you don't really know what could happen, and then also know what kind of coverage there is available. And so again, it's not our job to find coverage, but it is our job to find what the damage is, how it has to be put back to manufacturer specs and also code requirements, to make sure that we take care of the homeowner's best interest. And so that's really what we work for, is taking care of the homeowner. The insurance company needs to be on their side taking care of the homeowner as well. And so really just kind of it creates a triangle to where, we as a company, the insurance company, and the company, we have one person that really matters the most, and that's the homeowner. And so that's where we come across as being a little bit more knowledgeable than our competitors, just to make sure that they understand, we're here for them. We're not here to make as much money as we can. Obviously, profit, you got to have profit to stay in business. But at the end of the day, we're making sure our number one priority is that homeowner.
Cool. No, and that's big. And I think a lot of people, they undervalue or they underestimate even just having that kind of conversation with a customer goes a long ways too. Just showing them how that triangle works, right? It's kind of like, I'm not against the insurance. I'm not trying to scam out of money, you or the insurance. It's like, we're working together to make sure that you're going to get the best situation possible. And that's why you want to work with me.
Absolutely. And so, a lot of that stuff is stuff we're already going over in our presentation.
Yeah.
To the point of a close, I don't even really look at it as being a top, hardcore closer or anything like that. It's one of those, I present you the information so that you can make a decision. And again, at the beginning of really, when you knock on the neighbor, when you knock on the door, something you should be asking is, a couple of things we first do is, do you live here? Yeah, I do. Great. Are you the homeowner? Fantastic. Right then, who you're talking to. If they're not the homeowner, why waste your time? Are you the decision maker? Are you the one that's going to need to make the decision on this? And, a lot of the times I would say, 20, 25 years ago in this industry, not to get myself in trouble, but 20 years ago, a lot of the times it was the husband that made the buying decision. They were the ones that cared about the nowadays, especially in the last 10 years, the wife or the girlfriend or whatever, a lot of times they know more about this industry and about the products than the husband does, because a lot of times the husband's like, I just don't care, just get it because I don't have time. And so a lot of times, the wife at home or the girlfriend or whoever it is, they have more knowledge about it, especially with internet and Google searching and social media and everything. And so we want to make sure that, we're talking to every single person the right way and finding out, who is it that's going to make the decision. Cool. And so that's the biggest thing for us to get the close at the end of the end of the presentation.
So talk to the decision maker. And then the last thing I really wanted to pick your brain on, which kind of you touched on, was you map out your presentation so that you end up the customers walked right into a decision, and it should be yes. So do you have kind of a flow, like I talk about this, then I talk about this, then I talk about this? Like, do you have kind of a structured flow, and could you go through that just quickly, just kind of like, I hit on these points, I hit on these points, I hit on these points. That way it kind of flows the right direction. What does that look like for you?
What we've done in the last, when we first started, we had the same old presentation manual that everybody has with the sheets and everything. And we would go through the book and, from step one to the last step. What we started doing about 3 years ago is we have our own presentation folders. They're nice colored before and after photos on the back with reviews and that kind of stuff. But we just basically put our presentation, we put it in writing, and we just give it to the homeowner. Here's our presentation. And what we're going to start doing now is we're going to turn to I think we're going to be doing a 16 to 18 page magazine that we're actually going to be able to do. And so, when we talk about we have better quality products, anything that we're doing, whether it be coffee mugs or pins or hats or shirts that we're giving away, we want to have the best stuff out there, right? Because you don't want to give a crappy folder and tell everybody that you're the best person to put a roof on. Because psychologically, to me, it's like, well, you don't have nice stuff here, how are you going to have a nice roof at the end?
Yeah.
But as far as the presentation, what we start out right away with is the HR, can't remember what bill it is. Here in Colorado, basically it's covering the insurance deductible. Mr. Homeowner, you understand you're responsible for the insurance deductible. We go over that first and foremost. We make sure that they understand that. If there's a problem with that, we can go ahead and just, if they want to pay that, great. If they don't, man, we're not going to be the company for you. Kind of the next step we go into is providing them with copies of our insurance, our liability insurance, our workers' comp, making sure they understand the insurance for our crews, understanding the relationship we have with our crews. We've had the same crew for 6 years. That's a huge part of what makes us, I think, better than most, but is understanding who's going to be up on that person's crew. To a homeowner, like, oh, great, you know who's going to be up there. You know what kind of work they do and how to make sure that it's being done cleanly and professionally. Some more things that we go through is, we have a couple different sheets that has, things that you need to ask a prospective general contractor. Can they do more than just a roof? Can they do painting? Can they do the siding? Can they do the gutters, the windows? Mr. Homeowner, I would assume that you probably don't want to have to go out and find a different contractor for every one of these, right? Well, no, great. That's what we do. We manage this project for you so that you don't have to, because I'm sure you're busy and you've got a lot of stuff going on, and you probably like to spend more time with your family. Great. Yeah. That's what we do, right? Going farther into that, it's, what kind of insurance should a contractor have? How long have they been in business? What are some before and after photos? And so we have all of that stuff kind of laid out where we go through all the objections that most people have. We answer all those. And so at that point, we have our different materials in the book. Some people want to know exactly what kind of shingle it is, how much it weighs, where you nail it, what the fasteners are, what kind of underlayment. Some people just don't care, right? And so, Mr. Homeowner, how much involved do you want to be as far as understanding the products that we use? These are certifications. we're a preferred contractor that owns Corning. We're we're a certified contractor with GAF. We're an Emerald Premier installer with Malarkey. We can let them know that we have credentials and that we know what we're doing. But some people just don't want to sit there. They just get a glossy eyed over their eye, right? And at that point, you can talk yourself out of that sale because they're not listening to anything you're saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Homeowner, what's important to you, right? And so we can answer those questions, and you get done, and you just go straight into the close. Have I answered all your questions? Yes, great. I think we'd be a good fit together. So when would you like to go ahead and get this started? Another thing we'll do is, if we, a lot of companies will do contingency agreements. And what we'll do is we'll get all through it. Say, Mr. Homeowner, is there any other questions that you would have that would keep you from wanting to do business with us today? We take our paper, we say, great, you need to go ahead and authorize this so we can get started right away. I stole that one. That's from Brian Tracy. But again,
that's right. Yeah, I was going to say, that came right out of Psychology of Selling. That was literally out of the book. I was like, I know that. That's a good one.
It's just the simplest if you ask for the sale.
You ask for the sale, yeah. When do you want to get started? Let's get started. Let's get you on the calendar. What day works best for you?
Yep. And a lot of people, like a lot of sales guys say, people don't realize that they want it until you just ask for it.
Yeah.
When it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It's, have you created a need for the product? Have you provided value? Then great, let's do it.
Yeah. True.
It's honestly the easiest sell in the world because people their roofs are completely destroyed. It's not like you're trying to sell somebody a new roof that just got the roof done 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, and it's like they know, and I think if I was brand new sales rep, it's like going in with a little bit more confidence of like, these people eventually are going to have to do this. Why wouldn't they just be the one doing it through your guy? Because you're going to do this whether it's now in 6 months because you're a procrastinator, in 5 years because you're a real bad procrastinator. We're going to do this. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Just ask. So I think
program, especially with the niche, they've only got 12 months. Some people only have 6 months to get stuff done. And so it's just knowledge, knowing what you're talking about. There's the great book, Spin Selling, and it's kind of the same thing as, somebody says, well, I have a concern about this. Well, figure it out and then take it back, or figure it out. If somebody says, well, I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my husband, I totally understand, and I apologize that I didn't ask, who is it that makes the decision, or however you want to go about that. But don't just be like, okay, yeah, talk to your husband and give me a call. Dude, they're not going to call you back. They're going to talk to the guy that when the husband's home, they're going to go with that guy.
100%.
Set up that appointment, make that appointment. Hey, can we call him right now, see what his schedule is? We'll be back here later this afternoon or this evening, or, and that's the biggest thing is following up. But yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, it's make it simple. Don't make it hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys do that. And I can tell that because I did it. When I sold for one summer in Moore, Oklahoma. And I can pretty much tell you exactly everything that I did wrong because I did it all. I didn't sell a single roof. Oh my gosh, that was the roughest 60 days of my entire life.
60 days, 0 roofs.